Hey, family, and happy Tuesday. I'm excited about today's special guest. We have a special guest on Excellence in Everything Live. I'm your host, Linnita Hosten, and every Tuesday I meet you here at 8:30 Eastern Time to talk about some things that are really important to me. And I'm really excited that today I actually had a live interview at CTV, and they actually highlighted what we do here on Excellence in Everything Live. So instead of me telling you my little spiel, I wanted to share today's clip of today's interview segment about why we live stream weekly.
Award winning student success strategist, author, public speaker, and more, Linnita Hosten is adding more to her plate with her new podcast. Excellence in Everything Live is dedicated to raising the bar of excellence for high school and college students. Hosten spoke with CTV News today about her podcast and her passion to help students.
Excellence in Everything Live is our weekly live stream to help those who love and lead teens to help cultivate their interests, their natural skills and abilities, and then lead them into their ideal career paths. So we talk about all things building confidence, building their competence, which is their proficiency to do things exceptionally well, and then ultimately making them very competitive for today's job market.
And you can tune into the podcast Excellence in Everything Live every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook. You can also get a copy of her book at linnitahosten.com.
It was a pleasure to be interviewed today at CTV, of course, for the live stream work that we're doing to support community leaders, parents, and organization leaders, as well as anybody who's involved in the life of teens. Today's special guest is important because I'm really passionate about giving visibility to untraditional and traditional career paths so that our kids can see people who look like them doing things that may seem unattainable. But before I jump in, if you are interested in having me come and support any kind of work that you're doing, I wanted to give you three ways in which we can work together this year. And that the first way is that through our my training and development consultancy, we actually create custom curriculums for career and education readiness. So if you're interested in that, that's one way we can partner. The second way we can partner is I can come in and facilitate my career development curriculum with your existing cohort. I'll actually be doing that with the Department of Human Services this fall. Really excited about that. And or if you have a student that you like to be individually coached, we do have a group coaching program for students as well. And then finally, most people invite me in to speak or to do a training or a workshop. And typically those do come with a bulk order of books complimentary just based off of which package that you purchase. But enough about me. I'm excited about our guest, Dr. Asante. She is a businesswoman turned dentist, a double graduate of Morgan State University and the original HU. Right after our introduction, we'll hear from Dr. Asante. If you have questions for her, I want you to get them live because we're going to be answering them live. See you in a second. You are excellence. Your mind is of excellence. Your visions are of excellence. Your unique superpower is nothing short of excellence. You amplify a voice of excellence. Your contribution to this world will be of excellence. You will achieve your highest goals and desires with excellence. You are capable of excellence. You have an inner power of excellence. You will achieve excellence in everything, every time. I always like that sound effect at the end. Dr. Asante, I'm excited to bring her on. But before I do that, I wanted to acknowledge those who are watching live. Hey, Latricia, she's clapping the hands. We appreciate you live streaming with us today. If you have any questions for Dr. Asante, don't be shy. Please be sure to ask them. Hi, Lisa. Lisa says, my daughter is trying to decide what's your major in. She starts college next week. And I love that you're standing in the gap for her. And that's why resources like Excellence in Everything Live exist because I can't reach everybody. But if I can just get to one person in the village so that they can share the information that we share every week, then I've done my job. If you're watching live and you didn't say, hey, just go ahead and drop that in the comments. Hey, let me know where you're watching from if this is your first time joining. And I would love to know what made you stop by. What made you stop by? Dr. Asante, how are you?
I'm amazing. I'm so excited to be here.
And I'm glad to have you. What I didn't tell the people is that you and I met a while back before I even knew you were a dentist. And I met Dr. Asante at a nonprofit event for girls empowerment because she does have a heart for mentorship and girls. So our work kind of is parallel, except her practice now is in the medical field, more specifically in dentistry. So I wanted you to tell the people a little bit about how did you like, how did you get started? Why dentistry?
How did I get started? So when I was 13 years old, I went through the whole braces phase. Um, and when I went to my orthodontist office, I just fell in love. Like it just gave me some type of enlightenment. It gave me some interest in the field. The good thing is the dentist was open for me to wanting to come in and start working at the office. So I started working at 13 years old in a dental office. The same dentist that did my braces. And I just fell in love with the dentist. I fell in love with the team. I fell in love with the career. So I want to say that experience ignited what you see today.
Mm, I love that. 13, that is young. Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that our kids can only dream based off of what we allow them to be exposed to. We can only dream based off of
Oh,
what we
yeah.
see and experience. And so you had a chance to experience dentistry at a very young age. Hmm. So what natural skills and ability did you feel like you possessed and or learn to possess to be a great practitioner in your particular field?
I think that some skills that I have that are natural for me is leadership, communication, empathy, and hard work. I
Mhm.
definitely believe these skills were things that I saw as a child, but maybe didn't know how to cultivate it properly.
Mhm.
But now, as I got older and I have become refined as a woman and just as a leader, I've
Mhm.
become so in tune with my skills that, I'm able to really master them and continue to grow them. Because even today, I'm still growing my leadership skills, my communication skills, how everybody's a hard worker, but at certain points you have to strategize how you work because you can overwork yourself. So those are a couple of things that I believe that are skills that I have that I'm grateful for that has really helped me in my purpose in life.
Mhm. Yeah, now I'm really interested in your teenage self. Because I do feel
Oh,
like some of the attributes that we had at in our early adolescence, they do show up in our adulthood. What were you like as a teen?
oh my God. I think that is such an amazing question because it employs me to tell parents that really pay attention to your children's erotic behavior, I want to say. And I say that because when I was a child, I was talkative, I was bossy. People may have even said I had an attitude, that I was very straightforward.
Mm.
Um, I was very, I was a person that was able to be by themselves and be okay with it. Like if I'm in a group of people, of students or kids, I remember when I was at church when I was a kid and there was like a kids field trip and all the kids were playing with each other, getting to know each other, and I was just off to the side, like just thinking. Or I guess in those times I was daydreaming. I'm a big daydreamer. So when I was younger, I used to just daydream. So I had the ability to be social, but I was always independent in some way.
Mm.
And then I was very, boisterous. I was the one that stood up in front of the classroom without being shy. I was very stubborn, you would say, for my parents would tell you that, my dad would probably tell you I'm out of all his children, I probably gave him the biggest headache. But it's because I had so much power in me. I had
Mm.
so much power. And at that young age, we don't know what's happening. So, you have this power and it's untamed, it's unrecognized. So people sometimes will misunderstand the greatness within
Mm.
inside you. So it's funny when I was younger, I just felt so big and bold and um exciting and ready to really live my life. But at the same time, as a child, adults are telling you, be in a child's place, act like a child. You're doing too much. But little did we know that all this power within me was going to cause me to be the great woman that I am today. So I'm grateful that, and I know you have some more questions, but I'm grateful my parents cultivated who I was, but also disciplined me in a way where I was able to be a refined woman today.
Hmm. That sounds like a tough balance because you sound like a bad man. Them as a kid, I don't know if I could have been. Sound very like strong-willed, very certain of
Oh,
self.
yes. Yeah, I
Very smart.
was. I
Yeah,
was.
I love it. I love it. So, walk us through your normal day, your day to day as a dentist. What are some of the things that you are doing your day to day, like a typical day for you?
So typical day for me is I wake up about 5 a.m. and I always believe in centering myself in some way, whether it's doing a devotional, whether it's praying for a little bit, but something to center who I am, because as a leader, you are brought a lot of issues, fires that are brought throughout the day. And then you're also trying to provide patient care. You're trying to listen to your patients. So sometimes it can be overwhelming on the average person. So for me, I always start the day with some type of prayer, devotional. Then I start my day, of course, getting ready, making sure I look beautiful before I walk out the door. And then I head over to my office, and with my office, me and my team, we do morning huddles. So we huddle together to talk about our patients, to ensure that they get the best care. I'm a provider that really cares about knowing my patients individually, personally, and then, of course, whatever clinical need they come in for. So, for me as a doctor, I don't just care about your teeth, I care about your well being, I care about your family, I care about you as a person, because it is a relationship. You have entrusted me with your dental care, and I take it very seriously.
Mm.
So of course I start my day with my meeting with my team. Then I see my patients, and then at the end of the day, I'm doing my clinical notes, preparing for any up and coming surgeries that I have. And then I also, some days when I have some downtime, I definitely call my patients just to see how they're doing. In this world today, there's a lot of people that have dental anxiety that pushes them away from coming to the dentist. So I take that very seriously, and I always try to meet the patients where they are and try to give them that comfortability that's needed in the dental setting. So at the end of the day, I normally do my clinical notes, and then I call a lot of my patients just to see how they're doing and if they're having any post-op surgical issues or any questions that maybe. Then I head on home, have some dinner, and enjoy with my family.
Let me backtrack for a second. You said I ground myself in some form of meditation because I anticipate having to
Yes.
put out fires and or troubleshoot. I thought the dentist just came in and just examined my teeth. What kind of fires are you putting out?
Oh no. When you're in the career of service, there's a lot of things that come up. Whether, I guess, for dentists, it could be any, like, just running a business is really intense sometimes. So I love dentistry, but there's also other things that happen on a day-to-day basis within your business that sometimes you want to attend to, and you want to be the first one to handle the situation and make sure things are great. But the good thing is, I have an amazing team. I have amazing staff members. I have amazing a manager as well, who really are basically controlling the office and just making sure everything is great. But being that I'm so passionate about my job, I'm always wanting to know what's going on as well, to
Mm.
ensure that the patients are getting the best care that they need, and
Mm.
all their questions are answered, and they feel comfortable with being here in my office.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, that's excellence in everything. That's what you're embodying when you talk about the kind of service that you're passionate about giving to your clients. If you have from my opinion, if
Yeah.
you have health insurance, then you don't pay much. I don't even think I have a copay when I go to the dentist. And so there are a lot of people who are like me who could easily say, wherever I go is fine. I'm always gonna have a dentist. And on your end, you could say they gotta come anyway, so it doesn't matter how we treat them, they're gonna come regardless. But what I hear you saying is
Mhm.
they're coming. I'm anticipating them coming, and how they are serviced and cared for in my hands, that matters. So thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Oh yes, yes, absolutely.
And I know that you do veneers. You do is braces one of them? Tell us a little bit about the services that you offer.
Oh, awesome. So I'm a dentist that loves doing everything. Because I'm so passionate about it, I am continuously doing any type of service in order for my patients to feel like they're at a one-stop shop. So they're able to get all their dental care. They're not having to be referred out or anything. They could just get everything done. So yes, I do smile makeovers. I actually have a patient recently where we did full set of veneers up at the top, which I'm going to show, which we're going to launch in a couple weeks. I'm excited to share that. I also do extractions, bridges, root canals, third molar extractions.
What's happening in
Um,
this photo here? Like, what is this?
okay, so this person here actually, it looks like they lost a tooth, and it could be because of gross decay. A lot of times when we neglect the dentist, our teeth go rotten and we don't know. And I hear patients all the time, well, it doesn't hurt. Well, when Uncle Joe got a heart attack, it didn't hurt him. He just one day had a heart attack or a stroke. So sometimes teeth can be silent killers, I say. So I always encourage patients still come to the dentist no matter what. You have to be under the care of a dentist in order to do a lot of preventative work. So in this photo here, we see that a patient's tooth was grossly decayed. It came out. So now she has a space. And unfortunately, it's right in the front. So, of course, you're self-conscious about it. Your self-esteem is damaged by it as now, because that's like the main thing that people see. The great thing about being a dentist is that I can help you replace that area. And then when we don't replace that area, your teeth begins to shift, they begin to move, your gum healths also decrease, and we don't want that, especially if especially when what happens in the front of your mouth definitely affects your self-esteem.
Mm.
So we have a missing space, and what we did there is provided the patient a flipper. What a flipper is a prosthesis or a device that is put in the mouth. It stays in, and it's used as a replacer of the missing tooth area. So that's what you see in the second picture. You see in the first picture is a space, and then the second picture you see where we place the prosthesis device flipper in order to fill that space. And the one thing I love about the flipper is that it's very self-serving, so you can take it out, put it in whenever you can. You can eat with it, you can take pictures with it, and it also saves the space. Now in today's world, a lot of people do implants, they do bridges, they do a lot of other services where the device can actually stay in. With the flipper, it's something that can come in and out. But in today's world, and with the amazing technology today, we have implant services, which I do as well. And then we also have bridge services as well. So that device won't have to be in and out. So something like that, something so simple, can change someone's life and
Mm-hmm.
just empower them and just make them feel good. And I'm in the business of making you feel good, look good, and make sure that your dental care is up to par.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I won't say who, but someone that I know had some dental work done, and the dental work was reversed by something that they ate, which provided a very, what they would call, unpleasant look with their teeth. They were very self conscious going to work until they could get in for their appointment, and it did not feel good. And so, when you talked about your teeth being somewhat of a contributor to your self esteem and your ability to feel comfortable expressing yourself through speech. Absolutely. I saw it firsthand last week. Praise God that that person was able to get it fixed and they're good to go now. They're good to go. So you're right. You in the self esteem business for sure. Asha says
Yeah.
dental hygiene is important. Yes, it is. I brush twice a day, Dr. Asante. I don't play about my teeth. Oh my
Okay, let me
goodness.
look at
Tor
it.
says, I like the silent killer analogy. Yeah, you did a great job illustrating that for sure. And Asha said, shout out to biotechnology. If anybody has any dental questions that you like to ask the doc while she's in the house, it's a great time to ask. It's a
Oh
great
yeah,
time to
absolutely.
ask. So, STEM careers are in demand fields. STEM meaning science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I would consider dentistry as one of those. Who would you say was a part of your village as you were deciding to pursue a STEM career? Who would you label as your village?
The good thing about life that I realize is that you have mentors throughout your life, and some mentors are there to stay throughout the season, while some are there to stay at certain seasons. So throughout my career, I would say that one person that stood beside me at one point in my life was my mentor, Dr. Fletcher. He was a dentist as well. He went to Morgan State University. As mentioned, there's not a lot of people, especially African Americans. There's not a lot of African Americans in the STEM um, field, and then when you think about dentistry, it's even smaller. So Dr. Fletcher was a mentor of mine that basically stood beside me very firmly in the beginning of my conquest to be a dentist, because it wasn't a smooth straight ride. It definitely was a roller coaster, and it required a lot of faith for me to get to this point. And so great people like Dr. Fletcher. My mom was a huge person that was very supportive throughout my career, especially in the beginning. Um, my father as well and my family have been huge impact in my ability to be where I am today. And I'm so grateful for them. And so that would be my direct village, I believe. But there
Hmm.
was also some amazing people throughout my career from start to finish, even today, that have stick with me from beginning to end, and even just certain seasons. I've had some great mentors that maybe in that season I needed them, but in my next season I didn't need them. But I'm forever grateful for what they imparted in me in the season that we were connected.
Yeah, I love that. I can attest to that. That relationships sometimes they come in periods, but we value those who
Yeah.
came and those who are still there. Two questions for you. One is from Asha. She's asking, what was one of your primary motivators to push through dental school and get into practice? Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good
That's
one.
a good one. I was gonna hold off. Okay. I want to say my purpose. Um, I commend anyone who's on, following Miss Linnita through and following your business, being involved, parents that are encouraging their students to join the services you provide, because the earlier a child knows their purpose, the the more success they will have. Because once, I believe, the universe or God reveals to you your purpose or ignites that flame, you'll be able to see or have a path or some type of pathway that will guide you to getting to your purpose.
Mm,
And throughout my life, of course, I could have went left and right, but it was the revealing of my purpose at a young age that kept me going.
mm,
And so that's what motivated me, trusting in my faith. Because times where I failed exams,
mm,
I didn't look as good as other competitors or
mm,
other colleagues that were in my career, I believe the favor of God, the favor of the wisdom that I had throughout my career had allowed me to look better than other people, and allowed me to be motivated and self reassured that this is for me. And I'm going to tell a story. It's so funny. It just came to my mind. The reason, okay, so when I was in high school, I went to University of Maryland in Baltimore, which is the first dental school in the country. I went to, I was in high school. I went to, I want to say, kind of like a workshop for students who were interested in dental school. And they were giving away a free prep course with Kaplan. So I know you guys know about Kaplan, Princeton, Review, those different supplementary courses to help you take standardized tests. And, they were going around and saying, hey, put your name in the basket. And at the end of this, one person will win a free course to take this course in order to get into dental school because we had to take the DAT. So I'm just like, okay, my family were middle class, and at this time my parents weren't they were motivating me, but they didn't really know that I wanted to be a dentist. I said it a couple times, but they wanted me to actually be a talk show host. They wanted me to be Oprah. But yeah, I know, right? They wanted me to be Oprah. My mom wanted me to be Oprah. She really wanted me to. But God had another thing for me. So I'm sitting in the chair and I'm just sitting in the audience with, of course, all people of different races. I'm the only, probably one of the only African American people there. So of course I'm a little confused. Like, should I do this? Is this really the field for me? My family is I'm first generation African, and my family, I don't have any guidance. I don't have anybody in my immediate family who's a doctor. Can I really do this? So I prayed while I was sitting there, and I said, God, if this is for me, let me win the course. So they're putting the names in the basket, and they call my name. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I grabbed the information. I was so excited. So that's what motivates me. Little episodes throughout my life where I needed to reassure myself that this was the path for me. Like, because it's natural to question whether or not this path is for you. And those moments where I doubted myself, God continuously gave me little reminders like, oh, no, we're gonna go full out with this. We're going all the way. You're going to be a dentist. So that was the first moment when I really trusted and became really motivated with wanting to become a dentist.
I love it.
I hope I answered your question. I
You
probably went over
definitely
left and right
did.
and all type of places.
You took us on a journey, but that's okay. We have one more question from Kitor. Kitor wanted to know, how
Okay.
long have you been in dentistry, and were you in the field before becoming a dentist? That's a good question.
So, I've been in the field for almost, if you count like when I first was introduced to the career, maybe about 10 to 15 years of just experience. Again, when I was younger, I worked in the dental office, an orthodontist office. Then later on in my career, I started working at the front desk. So I was like the person that you would go to do insurances. I was the receptionist. Then at a point in my life, I was also the dental assistant. So throughout my career, I've always been in tune with dentistry in some way, in addition to my other passions as well. And then, going to dental school and then now becoming the dentist. So I've been in pretty much all the positions in a dental office prior to me getting here. Dental school is about 4 years. So it does take 4 years for you to get your degree. And if you decide that you want to specialize, which there's about 7 specialties within dentistry, it could take you another extra 3 to 7 years, depending on what specialty you decide.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about, tell me the difference between someone, a dentist working for a practice, because you could be a dentist working for a practice, or you could be a dentist who owns their practice. What's the difference between the two? And if you could just give us maybe a pro and con for each.
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of dentist offices that you see, sometimes it could be an associate working there. So someone who does not own the practice, but only practices their dentistry or their skills there. And then there's other establishments where the dentist that you see actually owns the business. So not only are they the business owner, they're also providing the dental treatment as well. So when you're an associate, commonly you're kind of just, a 9 to 5. You don't have any skin in the game. You're kind of just coming in, seeing your patients, then leaving. And in some cases, you might have an owner that's interested in your ideas, and maybe you have some type of leeway in the business. But at the end of the day, you're just an employee essentially. Yeah. Then we have the good thing about dentistry is it gives you an opportunity for ownership and becoming an owner, and being a small business owner, which is, of course, we know when you're an owner, you get so many benefits from taxes, from just allowing to really fulfill your dream. You're able to have more control on how you want to serve your patients, and how do you want to show up in the world essentially. You get more leeway when you are an owner. I have worked in both capacities. I find that depending on the person, it really depends on the person. I have some colleagues that are okay with just coming in, doing their work, and leaving. But then I also have colleagues that really want to be really involved in what they do. And you can tell just by listening to me, I'm a person that I really want to be involved in how I show up in the world and how I provide my services to my patients. Because as I mentioned before, I'm passionate about this. This is something that was a dream that I have since I was a child. So for me, ownership is only the right thing to do because I have a vision of how I want my patients to be served and taken care of. I don't want my patients to just feel like they're coming in, getting their teeth cleaned, getting things fixed, and then heading out. I want them to understand that I'm on this road with you as improve your dental work, as you improve your dental care, your dental hygiene. And although I might see you every 6 months, I feel like those moments with you are very powerful. And as an owner, you have more control of how you give your care to your patients. Whereas an associate, where you're just affiliated with the company, you're kind of more so just an employee, and you kind of just come in, do the dentistry. You have no skin in the game. You have no say on pretty much what's going on with the practice itself.
Thank you for distinguishing the two. What
Yes.
advice would you give to someone who's watching you today or who happens to watch this video and they say, man, I really would like to be a dentist? Maybe someone who's already in their career field, or maybe it's a high school student aspiring to be in your seat. What advice would you give to them?
Ooh, wow. So I would recommend that they one find a dentist that they like or look up to or feel like they are have some type of similar background or connection, and start shadowing. Shadowing is the best thing. Shadowing a dentist in the field, because there's different types of dentists, so it can give you a little idea of what we do on a day-to-day basis. And then after that, I would definitely look into what's required to become a dentist or even to get into dental school. So there are definitely some different type of standardized tests that's required. So I will look into the different tests that's required. Make sure that you go to a high school that has, not a high school, but go to a college that has maybe pre-dental courses or courses that align with whatever school you want to go to as far as dental school. But to answer your question, the first step would be to start shadowing a doctor, getting to understand the field, and then making sure that your career path as far as a student lines up with you being successful into dental school.
Great advice, Dr. Asante. Great advice. To wrap up our interview, I have some red robin rapid fire questions that I want to ask you. You only have 10 seconds to answer them. Don't think twice. Just answer them as quickly as you can. What do you do for fun?
Oh, okay. So I love to read. I'm a geek. I love to read. I love to I'm a big learner. Like I love to continuously learn. So if I can find a book that I feel like I'm learning or maximizing my knowledge, I am on for it. But then of course I love to have cocktails with my girls. I love to have wine night with my friends. I love to catch up with girlfriends. I love to be with my family. Oh my God, I love being with my family. I love being with my staff and my team, doing events with my team as well. Traveling. I always try to take a vacation once every 3 or 4 months. I love just being out in nature and learning new things and exploring different cultures. I just left from El Salvador a couple weeks ago. Well, not weeks, a couple months ago. And I had so much fun and I am looking forward to my next trip. So traveling as well.
Awesome. Awesome. What's your why? What's your why? What's getting you up at 5 a.m. to start your devotional so that you could have a day of excellence?
Just I want to say I have an assignment. I'm assigned to do some great things, and I am so motivated to fulfill them.
Mm.
Because it excites me. Getting up every morning to see my patients and to run my office and to get with my team, it's just so empowering me to me. I enjoy having a good day and I enjoy having a bad day. Either way, I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that empowers me the most.
Awesome and beautiful for sure. You have some really exciting news coming that we're not going to disclose today, but um, could you give us a hint, or is there anything that you want to say softly or gently, or?
I would say that ownership is so important to our community and to our children as well. So, as your children are learning their purpose and understanding the pathway that they are going, um, also encourage them to seek ownership in whatever they do. And now, ownership is not for everyone. And that's okay. But whatever you do, make sure you maximize it to the best of your ability. But we need to encourage our family, our children to be owners.
Mm.
So stay tuned. Some grand openings, some ownership opportunities for for me. So
I love it.
I'm excited. I am blessed. I am favored, and I'm excited to share my passion with people that are my patients, to share what I love to do, to empower them with a new smile in their dental care.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I'm just so excited to do that. And one thing I do want to say before I leave is to the children or to any of the teenagers, start with the end point. Start with how do you want your life to be as an adult? Do you want the fancy car and the big house and children and a dog, or the white picket fence? Do you want to be just a person that loves to travel, is traveling all the world? Do you want to be a person who wears a suit to work and has conference calls and looks nice? Do you want to be the person that owns multiple rental properties? Whatever it is, start with that and work backwards, because
Mm.
that can also help too in guiding you what your purpose is. Because if you have a vision and a lifestyle you want to live, sometimes that is the roadmap. Working retrogradely or backwards can kind of help you and guide you through the process too. Hopefully you want to be a dentist. But whatever it is, just be true to the purpose and the vision for yourself.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much for all of the knowledge and the gems that you dropped today. I think you've left us with some really good information and a great way for us to get started if someone's watching today is interested in dentistry. Where can folks find you to stay in touch?
Oh, absolutely. I love sharing a lot of my work online, especially today in a digital world. People are starting to take dentistry on social media. So I love to post a lot of my work on Instagram, and you can find me at DrArlene That's Dr Arlene Asante. That is my tag on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. and then also on LinkedIn as well and Facebook. So you can find me on all social media platforms. I'm open to any questions that you may have. And if you're interested in being a patient as well, by all means, you can contact me as well to schedule an appointment. Of course, me and my team would love to have you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Asante, and I wish you really well. I'm excited about the big news that's coming out, and certainly we'll be sharing it on our platforms too to celebrate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Listen, I only represent excellence. Y'all know I say that all the time, and I thoroughly mean that. And when I invite people on Excellence in Everything Live, it is literally to show you examples of such. And again, excellence is not perfection. It's the highest quality of effort. Is you having intentionality about what you're doing and showing up in a way that displays that. Oh my gosh. Yvonne, thank you so much for watching. Yvonne says she enjoyed the interview. Hey, Chanel. Chanel was watching. She said she loves it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging in there. We went a little over today, but I appreciate you watching. Asha, you as well. I'm excited. You know, I feel like Dr. Asante alluded to a lot of things that I always talk about. Always talk about early exposure. Always talk about there's never you could never like overexpose. I talk about the power of visualization and helping our kids visualize the desires that they have, meaning put like a picture to the thing that they desire or dream of, writing that down. And not a silly plug, but you could do all of that in the pursuit of Black excellence for teens. Literally, there are visualization exercises and career like brain like career maps in the workbook. Also, you have a chance to like write out what you feel like your ultimate goals are financially, in your family, personally. And in doing so, you're literally visualizing your future. Dr. Asante said you can start with the end in mind and then from there create a plan or a step. Well, the Pursuit of Black Excellence is a great way. So go ahead and start doing that. So if you want to grab your copy, you can do so at thepursuitforteens.com. That's all I have for you this week. Thank you for stopping by. I will see you next Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time for another episode of Excellence in Everything Live. I love you. It's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You are excellence. Your mind is of excellence. Your visions are of excellence. Your unique superpower is nothing short of excellence. You amplify a voice of excellence. Your contribution to this world will be